Sahana bhavatu sahano bhunaktu sah viryam karavavai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May Brahman protect us, may he guide us, may he give us strength and right understanding, may love and harmony be with us all. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. Vedantasara, the quintessence of Vedanta, written by Sadananda Yogendra, a 14th century Vedanta teacher. In my last class, I told you about intellect, mind, and prana, how these three sheaths constitute the subtle body. Before we try to understand God or Brahman, we must try to understand ourselves, who you are. Atmanam vidhi, know thyself. First try to know yourself. You are that pure consciousness, we call it Atman. That is your real nature. That Atman is covered by 5 sheaths. You have 3 bodies. You have 3 states. Try to understand these 3 things first. Then you will know really who you are. You have 3 states: waking state, dream state, and sleep state. In the waking state, you enjoy this world through the senses. In dream state, you enjoy this world through the mind. In sleep state, you enjoy through ignorance. Through ignorance. At that time, there is no mind. In dreamless sleep state. All these human beings, from the birth to death, are constantly rotating these 3 places: waking state, dream state, sleep state. It is just like a fish. Sometimes this side of the Mississippi River, sometimes in the middle, sometimes the other side of the river. Then again that same fish comes back in the morning. Again at night it goes to the other side. All these human beings, 80 years, 90 years, 100 years, whatever years you will live in this world, you are rotating in these 3 places. That is the realm of ignorance. Behind these 3 states, there is a state called transcendental state. Turiya, the 4th. When you touch that state through samadhi, through deep meditation, you are free. You will never come back to this world anymore. You will be illumined. You will see God. In these 3 stages, there is no possibility. It is moving, constantly rotating. Try to see the other things. You have covered yourselves with 5 blankets. For the reason you do not see your real self, God, which you are carrying all the time. Christ said, the kingdom of heaven is within you. That is God. Each human being is a mobile shrine, tabernacle of God, according to the Bible. But we are completely unaware of it. Why? Because we covered ourselves. The first sheath I explained to you, blissful sheath that we find in sleep state. The second covering is the intellectual sheath. Third, mental sheath. Fourth, vital sheath, prana, energy. Fifth, this gross human body, physical sheath. So we covered our Atman with their 5 sheaths, so for that reason we do not know God. We do not see it. But Swami, shall I take a sword and cut all the sheaths? You can't. But you need another kind of sword that is called Jnana Oshi, the sword of knowledge. Will cut all the layers of ignorance and will take you to your source, your Atman. That is God, which is within you. You have 3 bodies. The causal body you experience in dreamless sleep state. You have a subtle body that you experience in dream state. I explained to you what subtle body is in my last class. Again, I shall repeat. This subtle body is called the seed body. It has 17 limbs, 5 organs of knowledge. How do you get knowledge? Through the eyes, through the ears, through the nose, through the tongue, through touch, through skin. This is the way you get knowledge. You have 5 organs of knowledge. These 5 organs carry everything to the mind. That is the way you get knowledge of this external world. Sight, sound, taste, smell and touch. These are the 5 ways you gain knowledge. You have 5 organs of action. Hands, feet, speech. Through speech, verbally, we work a lot through speech. And organ of procreation and organ of evacuation. These are the 5 organs of action in the human system, in human body, all human bodies. Then you have 5 pranas that I explained in my last class. You inhale, you exhale. Energy. Prana. Without prana, if you do not breathe 5 minutes, you are dead. This prana protects this human system. If one part of your body is without prana, that part is paralyzed, is gone. If prana through the heart, when you are in a baby in the womb of the mother, your heart is pumping blood. And it will continue till you die. The moment this pump stops, you are dead. That is prana, energy, constantly pumping blood all over the system. Then in the navel, there is called shamana, which digests the body, digests the food in the system. Vyana, in the heart, which circulates the blood all over the system, prana. Unconsciously, consciously, you just see this human body is an incredible machine. No human being can manufacture this human body. It is really God's wonderful creation, I should say. This human body, very precious. It is not easy to get a human body. With a good body, diseaseless body, with a clean, balanced mind, it is very difficult. And we misuse that human body. Half of your lifetime we spend in bed. Childhood days, old age, your sleep, your rest, your laziness. Average Americans spend 5 years in front of the television. What a great waste of this human life. According to Hindu Purana, After 8,400,000 births, a person gets a human body. Through the evolutionary process, trees, animals, birds, beasts, in this way, through the evolutionary process, 84 লক্ষ, 8,400,000 births, a person gets a human body. Just think of that, how precious this human body is. And we misuse it. I met an old man in 1990 when I went to India. That man is a retired headmaster, and he read in the yoga book that, average human beings breathe 21,600 times. You are supposed to repeat God's name 21,600 times. So he is repeating mantram 21,600 times a day. But he says, I am a retired man, what shall I do? I repeat God's name. That is Hindu madness. I was in Santa Barbara. One young man used to come to the monastery. He went to a hamburger eating competition. So he ate, I think, 10 or 12. And then the restaurant person says that, you will have to take one, otherwise you cannot get the prize. At least put into your mouth, whether you can swallow it or not doesn't matter. Funny. Anyhow, human body, very important. Then you remember I told you, this Atman, pure consciousness, manifests in human system in 3 ways. Jnana Shakti, power of knowledge which comes through your intellect. Ichha Shakti, power of willpower, it comes in your mind. It manifests through your mind. Some people have tremendous willpower. Swami Vivekananda. Doctor said he has diabetes, and in 1902, at that time there is no insulin. His body accumulated water. Some Ayurvedic doctor said that 3 weeks you cannot have any water. You can drink a little fruit juice, a little milk, but no water. It was hot summer. And he used to drink a lot of cold water, iced water. So doctor says that you cannot drink any water. So his disciple asked, Swamiji, how will you manage? You drink water almost every hour. He smiled and said, from tomorrow, not a single drop of water will go below my throat. You will see. He was a yogi. Tremendous willpower. Well, my doctor said, I must obey the doctor. Maybe a little fruit juice, a little milk, that's it. Willpower. Sometimes, I go to the shrine, I tell my body, sit here 2 hours, don't move, obey me. That is the way they increase their willpower. Sometimes, where you have interest, you like it. I sometimes tease people that you go to the ballpark and 3 hours, 3.5 hours, you sit ball game, you never complain, you are so happy. The moment I say, please sit down for meditation, half an hour, you say, oof, all aches and pains come at that time. It shows where is our interest. There are 3 hours, you don't feel at all. You feel great. But if I say sit in the shrine and meditate or read a little bit, you complain. Ichha Shakti, willpower, Kriya Shakti. It comes through prana, energy. Some people have tremendous energy. All action comes through that energy. So please remember that Atman, that pure consciousness, manifests through your system, through 3 channels. Through your intellect, knowledge. Some people have fantastic grasping power, understanding. Some people have tremendous willpower. Some people have tremendous energy. Work. They never get tired. They can work day and night. Try to understand you first. That is the vital thing. God, forget God for the time being. Just try to understand yourself, who you are. What is going on inside this psychophysical system. Once you know how to dive within, you will see a new world. Which is this outside world is nothing but the projection of inside. Sometimes, people misunderstand Vedanta. We say that this world is not real. It is true, 100% true. This world is not real. And there is a book, Advaita Siddhi. He gave 28 arguments and proved this world is not real. First, when you see a dream, do you think, and when you get up, when your dream breaks in the waking state, does the dream real? Is the dream real? But in the dream state, dream was very real. This world is just like a dream. Please, Swami, my husband, my wife, my children, my job, everything is dream. Dream. It is in the mind. In dreamless sleep, husband, wife, job, everything disappears. The moment you get up, again the whole world appears. What is dream? Which arises in the mind and disappears from the mind. That is called dream. So your husband, wife, children, everything disappears. The center, Swami. Hard to believe, Do you know we are all asleep, in deep sleep of ignorance. Time to time our dream breaks. We see the reality for the time being. Again dream comes. I shall give an example. A young man came to Sri Ramakrishna. Very rich boy. Then got involved with women, used to go to the prostitutes. And that girl betrayed him. And he came and crying and came to Swami Vivekananda in Baranagar monastery. It is in the Gospel of Ramakrishna. You will find in the appendix. Baranagar Math. There that man, Swamiji said, this is the right time. You take sannyas, give up home, family, everything. Just stayed few days, again he returned to his own place. Momentarily dream broke, again went back. We are continually dreaming. I tell you frankly, I was so fond of my mother that when I left home, when I used to came to Calcutta, I was 14 years old. I used to read the books. Tears would fall on the book and the book get wet because of my mother. Then my brother took to the monastery and introduced that Udbodhan, Holy Mothers. So I started to think that Holy Mother is my mother. And now it is hard for me to imagine how my mother looked. Forgot. Disappeared. Almost I had to meditate a long hours to imagine her face. 38 years ago, I remember my mother. Amazing how this mind works. You people are more close, my relatives, than my blood relatives. I almost forgot them. They do not come to my mind. You people come to my mind. How mind works. If you can bring God in your mind all the time, you will find this attachment for the world will gradually vanish. I remember I went to see Disneyland. We say we are VIPs in Disneyland. We get host lunch, dinner, because one of our devotees is the vice president of Disneyland. So when we go, we had not to stand on the line. We go on the VIPs, we go on the front line everywhere. So a girl was our host and she is learning Russian. She works 8 to 10 hours in the Disneyland. Then she is learning Russian 4 hours. And she sees her husband. At 10 o'clock she goes back home. And 7 o'clock she leaves home. So she sees her husband perhaps half an hour while she goes to bed and perhaps half an hour while taking breakfast. And other time, this Disneyland was in her mind. So our Ranjan Swami was asking, perhaps your Swami, your husband is unreal, Disneyland is real to you. She was laughing. Because the thing which is occupying your mind maximum times, that thing becomes real to you. This girl's mind, 10 to 12, nearly 12 to 14 hours, this Disneyland and in connection, because generally those who are hosts, you will have to know many foreign languages. All the foreign dignitaries come, you will have to take them as escort them, guide them. So in that girl's mind, 12 to 14 hours is Disneyland. And only 1 hour is her husband. So you can imagine that how this mind works. Whatever is in your mind, that is real to you, which you think most of the time. Okay, now we shall read. Etat pranadi panchakam akashadi rajangsebhyo militebhyo utpaddati. These 5 vital forces, that is prana, etc., are produced from the combination of the active particles of ether. Don't mind, I shall read a little Sanskrit so that I can get my mood, and then I shall explain. It is some technical words, for the reason I made some handouts for you today. Idam pranadi panchakam karmendriya shahitam sat pranamayo kosha bhavati asya kriyatmakatvena rajangsha karjatam. These 5 vital forces, such as prana, together with the organs of action, constitute the vital, I am reading number 88. The vital sheath, pranamaya kosha, its active nature shows that it is the product of the particles of rajas. Among these sheaths, the intelligent sheath, Vijnanamaya kosha, which is endowed with the power of knowledge, is the agent. The mental sheath, Manomaya kosha, which is endowed with willpower, is the instrument. And the vital sheath, Pranamaya kosha, which is endowed with activity, is the product. This division has been made according to their respective functions. These 3 sheaths together constitute the subtle body. As I already explained to you, this subtle body is the most mysterious phenomenon. This subtle body reincarnates. Whether you are spiritual or not, do you know what is the test? 2 things watch in your life. First thing, you will be tremendously unselfish. Second, you will be free from body consciousness. When you see these 2 signs are predominant inside you, that means you are progressing in spiritual life. Lack of body consciousness and lack of selfishness. Spirituality cannot be measured by weighing, as you can weigh or measure. Watch these 2 things. The moment you are unselfish, your love will overflow. It will go to all, each and all. You will see that same God is manifesting in each being. How can you hate others? You can't help but love. Sometimes I tell people, some people ask me, what is God? I don't have any concept of God. Really, we don't. Here is a building, this 205 South Skinkar Boulevard. You can take a photograph from the front, from the side, from the corner, from the back, from the top. You are taking pictures of the same building through different angles. Each photograph is indicating this house. If only front picture, that is not the full picture of this house. You need from aerial picture, from the back, from the side, from the corner. Then when you put all the pictures together, then you get a complete picture of that house. Similarly, I remember, I think not 2 weeks ago, I gave one lecture on how to practice Vedanta in daily life. That I was telling, first, prajna. Try to understand God as consciousness. Try to understand God as love. Try to understand God as beauty. Try to understand God as ananda, bliss. Try to understand God is full of energy. Try to understand God as infinite. Try to understand God as stability. In this way, this teacher talked this infinite Brahman from 6 angles. Then, yes, I'm trying to create an idea in your mind. Show me, how can I think about God? Who is God? What is God? We don't have any concept. At the same time, Vedanta will teach you again and again. Thou art Brahman, thou art that, you are God. Know thyself. It is a wonderful study to me. Do you know why? It is a journey from alone to alone. What is in the microcosm, that is in the macrocosm. What is in the macrocosm, that is in the microcosm. Try to understand microcosm first. If you have blue glasses, you see everything blue. If you have yellow glasses, you see everything yellow. If you have red glasses, you see everything red. If you are a good person, you see everybody is good. If you are a bad person, you see everybody is bad. It is you who is focusing, projecting all the time. That transformation comes in within. That Vedanta teaches. That is called a real transformation. In Christianity, called baptism. Baptism and in Vedantic concept of initiation, more or less the same. Initiation. When a teacher initiates a disciple, at that time he learns how to establish relationship with God. Here also, the sum total of all the subtle bodies, when looked upon as one, like a forest or a reservoir, is called samashti or aggregate, and when viewed as many, like the trees or quantities of water, is called vyashti or individual. What is forest? The forest is nothing but sum total of innumerable trees, millions of trees. What is reservoir? It is not sum total of billions drops of water. So when you say God, do you know what we mean? We mean forest. What is forest? Sum total of all these human beings. You, me, and all these 4 billions of human beings constitute that God. Swami, we don't understand. Listen how it goes. Here is a chandelier. Perhaps it has 100 electric bulbs. Each bulb is shedding a little light. You are a bulb, I am a bulb, he is a bulb, she is a bulb. All these bulbs are giving a little light. The sum total of all these bulbs is called God. And that invisible electricity behind, that is Brahman, Shakti. manifesting through all these bulbs. If 4 billion bulbs are on in this whole universe, try to understand, connect God in that way. You are an electric bulb, I am an electric bulb, but all we are connected in the chandelier. You are a tree, I am a tree, but all we are connected in that forest. That forest, sum total, they are giving an example just to connect you, just to make you understand what it means. You are a drop of water, I am a drop of water. In this big reservoir, that is God, big lake, big ocean. Consciousness associated with this totality is called Shutratma, Hiranyagarbha and Prana. Because it is immanent everywhere and because it identifies itself with the 5 great uncompounded elements endowed with the powers of knowledge, will and activity. Hiranyagarbha. Actually, Hiranya means gold, pure gold. Garbha means within, womb. Gold is in, you are carrying a gold in your womb. Womb means here, womb means heart. What is that gold? Knowledge. It is glittering. It is amazing, you know. Sat Chit Ananda, Brahma, existence, consciousness, bliss. Existence, you exist, you are conscious, and you want bliss. These 3 things constitute Brahman. Nam, Roop, name and form are this world. Do you know about yourself? A Brahman is not whole thing is covered within your system. Your existence aspect is visible. You never say, I do not exist. Do you ever say, I do not exist? Never. You exist, you are completely aware of your existence. You are scared the moment you lose your existence. If you are unconscious, you perhaps pass out momentarily. You are scared. I am going to die. We are all aware about our existence. You are partly aware about your consciousness. I am aware. I am aware of it, Swami. I know it. Do you know where is your problem? Our problem? Our bliss aspect is covered. For the reason we are very miserable in this world. We are very unhappy. Because our bliss aspect is covered by ignorance, Maya. If you really want to experience bliss in your life, do you know what do you need? Unite these 2. Head and heart. That Swamiji made a remark about Western education. One of the great defects of Western education is too much brain, very little heart. Because material civilization makes a person selfish, greedy. That is the nature of the materialistic civilization. Selfish, greediness, self-centeredness, possessiveness. That is the result. I remember once I told Chancellor Danforth in one meeting, I said, your university, you do not give any importance to religion, philosophy, literature. Your big medical school and business school and the law school, how to make money. You are making this, people more earthbound. A little bit philosophy, really. Because do you know what is the problem? If you are a professor of philosophy, you will not get any students. Plus, most of the universities, where is money, there people will go. and all these beautiful human tributes, literature, philosophy, religion, humanity. That section in the universities are very much neglected. They build a huge business school, law school. Previously, I used to see there is a baseball ground. Now it is a big business school. When I first came, it was a baseball ground in the Washington University in that corner, right side. And now they put the baseball ground the other side, and they built a huge business school. Education is very, very important. This education will make you feel about human life. What is the goal? What is the purpose? Why are you in this world? Sometimes when you are in this world, making money and business, this and that, we are so trapped by Maya. We do not see ourselves. We do not have time to think about, a doctor used to come here and his wife divorced him, 2 daughters. Very sad. Was crying to me. Swami, I thought I am a very successful doctor. I am connected with 3 hospitals. I have private practice. I thought earning money I shall make my wife happy. But my wife, I spend very little time with my wife, with my family. My wife now divorced me. I am out of the house. I am living in an apartment. Yesterday I drove 3 times in front of my house to see my daughters. When I heard it, my heart broke. Successful doctor, lot of money, no happiness, 0 happiness. I thought that making money I shall make my wife happy. It does not work. Money is not the goal. Love, feeling, serve others. Make your life interesting. Learn something new every day. Otherwise, life will be boring. I used to watch one monk. He was from Fiji. Died a few years ago. That monk, I think, knew 11 or 12 languages. Well, what shall I do? When I have very off time, I learn a new language. 11 or 12 languages, he knows. But that is my pastime. I get joy when I know various languages. Just hobby. This aggregate, made up of the 3 sheaths, such as Vijnanamaya Kosha or Hiranyagarbha, is called the subtle body, as it is finer than the gross universe. It is also called the dream state, as it consists of the impressions of the waking state, and for that very reason it is known as the merging place for the gross universe. I told you very beginning, this gross world, the waking state, merges into dream state when you go to bed. This dream state merges into sleep state. So you are stating this gross, perhaps you will watch my chart, this gross universe, the subtle universe and the causal universe. These 3 universes are in the domain of Maya, manifestation of Maya, ignorance. Consciousness associated with each individual subtle body is known as Toijasha on account of its being associated with the effulgent inner organ. The individual limiting adjunct or Toijasha too, made up of 3 sheaths such as Vijnanamaya Kosha, etc., is called the subtle body, as it is finer than the gross body. It is also called the dream state, as it consists of the impressions of the waking state, and for that very reason it is known as the merging place for the gross body. The Shutratma, Toijasha, at that time, through subtle functionings of the mind, experience the subtle objects, witness such as Shruti passages as Dvaijasa is the enjoyer of the subtle objects. Here we find another beautiful word, Shutratma. Do you know what does it mean? It means a garland of pearls. You are a pearl, I am a pearl, she is a pearl, he is a pearl. All these pearls are connected with a thread. So the thread is God. That thread is called Shutratma, holding each pearl. I remember when I was in 1977, at that time I was in Hollywood, I went to India and met a monk in Banaras, an old monk, a great sadhu, beard. I wanted an interview. You come at 8 o'clock. So I went to his room. A dim light was in the corner, seated there. The moment I entered his room, do you know what did he ask me? তুমি সন্ধি দেখতে জানো? Do you know how to wash the junction of the two pearls? Then I understood. Do you know what he was doing? Watch. Here is your mind. Here is a thought waves. My husband, wife, food, clothing, job, Vedanta temple, Swami. Each time your mind is rising and taking a thought wave. They call it vritti. Thought wave. As we have seen EKG, you know how the graph comes. Like that way, over your mind, constantly these thought waves are going. From morning till night, all the time, various thought waves are passing through your mind. So, between these two thoughts, when one thought dies, another thought rises. Learn between these two thoughts what is there. Here is a pearl necklace. If you minutely watch between two pearls, perhaps you may see a little thread which is holding all these pearls, billions of pearls it is holding. So all these billions of thought waves which is passing over the mind, if you watch, do you know what will you see? You will see consciousness. That consciousness is holding your every thought wave. Without consciousness, you cannot think. It is impossible to think without consciousness. So he was watching his consciousness, that pure Atman, between his two thoughts. So he asked me, do you know how to watch the thought waves? The junction, they call it Shondi. Between two thoughts, watch minutely. Then you will see your real self. Pure consciousness within. I tell you frankly, Vedanta is a very, very interesting subject to study. You will know about yourself more than you can expect. Tatra ko moha kashoka ekattam anupashyatah. He who sees that one, he is free from delusion, free from grief, free from hatred, free from anger, free from jealousy. You will solve all of your problems if you know this mystery. Mystery of the Atman. Who are you? You will learn human dignity, how to respect others, how to love others. Because the thing which you see, that Atman is within me, the same Atman is within my wife. How can I hurt my wife? It is impossible. She is God. She is not a, namby-pamby woman. She is God also. How can I hurt my husband? He is not a rogue, he is not a demon. He is God in the mask of my husband. That knowledge of oneness is our goal. Really, it will make you so strong. That is the way I learned Vedanta. Sometimes Christ says the kingdom of heaven is at hand. And where do we live? We live in hell. All the time doubt, desire, anger, jealousy, hatred, fight, quarrel. Is it heaven? That is hell. Love, compassion, purity, joy, humor, bring to your life and make life interesting. That comes through spiritual life. Read the Gospel of Ramakrishna, you will find what is called dancing, singing, humor, mimicry. So many things are going on. Greatest truth he was expounding. Listen to a story. Really it is as if some kind of festivity, some kind of interesting thing going on all the time. I forgot to tell you one more comment about subtle body. Subtle body reincarnates, that is the seed. Here is a lot of peanut. If you roast the peanut and you put that roasted peanut under the ground, will they sprout? No. You destroyed their potentiality to sprout. They are dried, they are roasted. But if you raw peanut, if you put under the ground and put fertilizer and water, they will sprout. So this human mind with that subtle body, I told you, 5 organs of knowledge, 5 organs of action, 5 pranas, and mind and intellect. These subtle bodies constitute 17 limbs. If you fry that subtle body with the knowledge, the heat of knowledge, it destroys its potentiality. That subtle body will never sprout. What does it mean? That means you will merge into God. You will never come back again. Do you know why? Because you have no desire. Why are you born in this world? Because of desire. All these billions of people you see, they have desires. My teacher used to say, if you have no desire, do you know what will happen? Your body will fall on the floor right now. Pasana pushyati bapuhu. It is desire which preserves human body. It is an amazing phenomenon. Why do you have desire? Because you are ignorant. Ignorance produces desire. Desire brings action. No action is possible without desire. And no desire is possible without ignorance. Try to understand, this is the greatest truth, I tell you. Why do you work? Because you just to fulfill your desire. Why do you have desire? Because you have ignorance. If you have no ignorance, no desire, no action. You are illumined, you will be free. That is the goal of Vedanta. That is called mukti, liberation. Not salvation, not heaven. Sometimes the concept of heaven is, oh, I shall go to God, I shall live in heaven. Vedanta does not. There are some people go to heaven, of course. Do you know what actually heaven means? Celestial desires, celestial enjoyment. That is, some people, those who have unsatisfied desires, they think when I go to heaven, I shall get diseaseless body and ever youth and beautiful girls and beautiful men and food, a lot of food, no headache, no insurance, nothing of the sort, Swamiji said that, Vedanta is very much against heaven. Shine punyam, do you know how do they explain heaven? You saved a lot of money, put it in the bank, you were a multi-millionaire. Plus you have started to spend that money continually. One day, whole money will be spent up, consumed. One day, you have no money, you are a poor person. Similarly, people go to heaven by virtuous deeds. They accumulate this virtue. Through that virtue, they go to heaven. And there they stay as long as their virtue, money savings remains. And then when it is over, again come back. Again recycle. That is the way Vedanta explains this heaven. But Swami, we shall go to God and we shall be happy. I don't want to go to heaven. Here also, the aggregate and individual subtle bodies are identical, like a forest and its trees, or like a lake and its waters, and the Shutratma and the Toijasa, which have those bodies as their limiting adjuncts, are also identical, like the spaces enclosed by a forest, and its trees, like the skies reflected in the lake and its waters. Evam sukshma shariro utpattihi, thus do the subtle bodies originate. In my chart, you will watch, please watch. Brahman, Ishvara, Hiranyagarbha, Virat, Maya, Gunas. Then page 2, you will see I explain what. Those are all technical words, but I explained. And in the page 3, I put a chart so that you can see at a glance body, gross, subtle, causal, name, cosmic, individual, sheath, and the state. Next class I shall talk to you about this nature of the gross bodies and the gross universe, the creation. Vedantic creation is very scientific. It is not like your biblical creation. Let there be sun, there is sun. Let there be water, there is water. Let there be moon, there is moon. Let there be light, let there be light, there is light. It is, these words came from the lips of God. Immediately those things come. That is, in our case, there is called Puranic creation. But Vedantic creation is very scientific. You can see that how this creation came. This gross manifested universe which you see, where we live. You will see that how this creation came. It is interesting. Please, I made those handouts. Please take it and you will please read page 3. Then you will understand very quickly my chart that this gross universe, these 5 elements, space, air, fire, water, earth, constitutes this whole universe. Whole universe, nothing but 5 elements. All human bodies, food, things, whatever you see in this world, nothing but 5 elements. Please ask me questions.
Earlier in the talk, you said that Atman manifests itself in 3 ways: intellect, willpower. What was the third one?
Prana, energy. Jnana Shakti, buddhi, intellect. You see, a buddhi, intellect, is the meeting point of the consciousness and the unconsciousness. In your system, buddhi, your intellect, is the most precious thing in human system is buddhi, intellect. Oh, that fellow is stupid, dull. That person is intelligent, bright, fantastic. A buddhi, some people's buddhi is manifested, some people's covered. Some people have a thick layer of ignorance on the intellect. Some people thin, some people open. What is the difference between person and person? In a school, you can see many students are seated in the class. Grasping power, understanding differs from student to student. Why? Because of intellect. Some people are so sharp, so bright, they take it like this. And some people, I see some people here, 40 years in Vedanta. This brain did not work. Some people I see came few days, tremendous grasping power, tremendous understanding, tremendous retentive power. We forget. Buddhi is very, very important. Intellect, understanding. Yes.
When I die, my gross body is going to turn to ashes.
Mm-hmm.
My soul body is going to become a tree or another human being or an insect. And what happens to my causal body?
That is a good question. A gross body and the causal body remains in the substratum. You see, it subtle body. A subtle body, actually, you see, do you know how I look at it? Causal body is just like vast space. And the subtle body is just like a star, shooting star. But it is in the space, it remains in the space. And again, that shooting star, it comes and rotates and it goes to a particular place. When a person dies, sometimes I think this way, your prana, energy, will shoot your subtle body like a rocket. I want to be millionaire. At the time of death, I am a poor man, I want to be millionaire. So my subtle body was shot by the prana and will go to that direction where I can be a millionaire. I shall try to find out that kind of parents where I can fulfill my desire. Or my subtle body says, I like to be a monk. My subtle body shot that direction and tries to find out that kind of parents where I shall get the opportunity to become a monk. The subtle body, it is the desire which determines in which place your next birth will be. Your last thought of you at the time of death is the determining faculty of determining factor to have the next body. It is an amazing phenomenon. It is in the Bhagavad Gita. They discussed this very elaborately. Swami Satprakashananda's book, that how is a soul reborn, there he discussed these things very clearly, that how your next birth determines by this last desire of this life. It is an amazing phenomenon. Guru's body, they go to the 5 elements, Your water portion will go to water, space, air, fire, earth. All 5 elements will disintegrate and will go to the 5 places. This human body is nothing. Look, actually human body is nothing but a single drop of that liquid substance from which enters from the male body to the female body. Then it mixes with mother's blood and becomes an embryo and child and this and that. At that time, that embryo takes the food from the mother's body. It is nothing but food. This gross body comes from 5 elements. It goes back to the 5 elements. But the subtle body is the whole mystery. This subtle body, it can be so beautiful and it can be so nasty. Subtle body, try to understand mind first. This mind can make you like, your mind may be so pure like God's mind. And the sense mind, murderer, cruel, vindictive person. This whole thing is in the mind. The evolutionary process, watch your mind. I sometimes, as I may always say, do you know what is your character? Whatever you do, whatever you think, they leave subtle impressions on the mind. And sum total of those impressions make habit. And sum total of those habits will form your character. If you have 80 good thoughts, 80 good vibrations, 80 good actions in your life, day in, day out, your character is bound to be good, and vice versa. That is the way whole human system functions. Everything is in the mind. Training of the mind. And we neglect that mind. I was trying to explain this thing last Sunday, but I'm sorry I could not touch the subject. I only told you the introduction. But if you are really interested, I suggest please read Swami Vivekananda's Raja Yoga. It is a very, that book created sensation in America in 1896, 1897, 98. Even William James, who wrote the Varieties of Religious Experiences, read that book and mentioned that book in his book. he was a close friend of Swami Vivekananda. He offered a Oriental philosophy, chair in Harvard